With a rise in online shopping since the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic, the need for in-store shopping has been dwindling. Online shopping has been taken to a whole new level since 2020, with Amazon reporting a 40% growth in sales for their fashion category in 2021 alone. With clothing and apparel totaling $41 billion for the online giant, it is no wonder many of America's favorite clothing stores are shutting down. Join us today as we look at 16 clothing stores facing closure in 2023. Number 1. Macy's. Back in 2019, Macy's had already faced a closing streak, closing around 125 stores. Whilst the initial plan was to close a fifth of their stores over 3 years, the pandemic brought more urgency to this process. After closing all 775 of its locations during the pandemic, Macy's did manage to reopen a few. However, the company recently announced the closure of 10 more stores, including those in larger states like California, Florida, Colorado, and Texas, among others. Number 2. JCPenney. Having publicly stated that the company had been losing money since 2010, JCPenney had already declared bankruptcy as early as May 2020. According to the company, it has taken more than $4.5 billion in net losses since 2010. But while Simon Property Group and Brookfield Property Group acquired the chain for $1.75 billion, the company still had to restructure its debt, which led to the closure of more than 200 stores throughout the United States. As of this video, JCPenney is still operating around 670 stores nationwide, but it remains to be seen how many more will be closing by the end of 2023. Number 3. Banana Republic. Joining this list of clothing stores is Banana Republic, which also took a massive hit during the COVID-19 pandemic. In October 2020, Gap had already announced that it would be closing around 350 Gap and Banana Republic stores nationwide. Whilst the company is slowly closing these stores and only plans to have them all shut down by the end of 2023, it does seem like they are also joining the trend of having small stores that are much more manageable and cut the overhead costs of the company. Number 4. Old Navy. Whilst we are on the subject of Gap, the company also serves as the parent company for Old Navy. Since the pandemic, the company has stated that it had a massive product backlog, and once the products did arrive, it was already out of season. This backlog meant that the company was hemorrhaging funds and reported losses of $273 million for the last quarter of 2022. In response, Gap announced that it will be closing 50 stores nationwide, but does plan to open 30 new and smaller stores under the Old Navy and Athleta brands by 2024. Number 5. Marshalls. While not facing the same level of closures as many other brands on the list, Marshalls also announced in early 2023 that it would be closing one of its stores this year. The store is located on 78th Street in the Upper West Side neighborhood of New York. However, the company did not cite any losses as the reason, and according to Andrew Mastrangelo, Vice President for Communications at TJX, the parent company of Marshalls, it has been done in an attempt to assess and review its real estate strategies. Number 6. H&M. H&M is one of the most popular clothing stores around the world. However, numerous losses with the rise of online shopping and an increase in inflation have left the company with tough decisions to make. According to the Northeast Mississippi Daily Journal, the company will be closing a store in Tupelo, Mississippi in 2023. Whilst the exact date is unknown, it does signal that the rise of online shopping is affecting major outlets such as H&M. Number 7. The Children's Place. During a 2023 earnings call on March 16th, President and CEO of The Children's Place, Jane Elfers, said that the company is planning on closing approximately 100 stores in North America. She added that a bulk of these closures will take place by the end of 2023. However, she was unclear about which location would be closing down, only mentioning that it is still in the works of planning. However, the company has been paring things down for a few years now, focusing on what they call the Fleet Optimization Initiative, in an attempt to change its approach to the digital business models the world is currently turning toward. Having closed more than 319 stores already since 2019, it means that the Children's Place will go into 2024 with only around 500 operational stores. Number 8. Walmart. Whilst not primarily a clothing store, the biggest retail store in the United States had not escaped the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic and the massive rise of inflation in 2022. Earlier in 2023, Walmart announced that it would be closing 20 locations across the United States, which could severely affect the clothing sales of the company. Unfortunately, it has not been announced exactly which stores will be closing down, but it does mean that many people might be left without a job by the end of 2023. Number 9. Nordstrom. With numerous retail stores throughout the United States, it seems like Nordstrom has announced the closure of its stores in San Francisco. The Nordstrom department store in Westfield Mall is one of the first to go by the third quarter of 2023, with Nordstrom Rack following suit. According to Jamie Nordstrom, chief stores officer of the company, the decision has been especially difficult. He added that the dynamics of the downtown San Francisco market have changed dramatically over the past several years. Since it heavily impacted customer foot traffic, these stores have been unable to operate successfully. Number 10. David's Bridal. For the second time in 5 years, David's Bridal, a notorious wedding and formal wear shop, filed for bankruptcy. Whilst the company is holding out for a potential buyer, it seems that nearly all of its almost 300 stores across the United States will be shutting down shop. Even with the company receiving funding from private equity firm Oaktree Capital in 2018, it seems like sales never rebounded, and the rise of online shopping dealt the company a massive blow. Unless someone steps up to buy the company and brand, it seems inevitable that closing up a few stores is certainly on the cards. Number 11. Shoe City. Having been around for more than 70 years, it seems like the increase in inflation and online shopping has had a detrimental effect on Shoe City. In 2023, the company announced that it would be closing 39 of its stores on the North American continent, including the closure of all stores in numerous states. These states include the likes of Maryland, Virginia, and the District of Columbia. According to the company, it is currently dealing with $16 million of unsecured debt that it is unable to pay. It is also worth noting that Shoe City had already filed for bankruptcy in March due to numerous years of financial struggles. Unfortunately, this will have a profound impact on shoppers looking for their next shoe discount before the holidays. Number 12. Foot Locker. Sticking to the world of footwear, sportswear company Foot Locker has also announced that it will be shutting down a staggering 400 of its in-mall stores by 2026. The company has cited that these stores have been underperforming, costing the company more in overheads than the actual profit it brings in. However, the company did announce its new Lace-Up plan, with Foot Locker CEO Mary Dillon having the following to say: "We are incredibly excited to introduce our Lace-Up plan with a new set of strategic imperatives and financial objectives that are designed to set us up for success for the next 50 years. According to this plan, it seems like Foot Locker is planning to rebrand and open hundreds of new concept stores that prioritize storytelling and presentation over the next few years. It aims to directly appeal to the sneaker aficionados." Number 13. Target. Target is arguably the biggest clothing retail store chain in the United States. However, the pandemic and rising inflation have not been kind to the clothing giant. According to Target, the company will be closing down 4 retail stores, with 3 being in major metro areas. These will be 2 stores in DC and another one in Philadelphia. However, the 4th one hits a bit closer to home and will be closed in Minneapolis. In a major turn of events, the company did announce that it plans to open 20 new stores in the future, and aside from these 4, no other stores will be closed down in 2023. Target also went on to say that employees will be offered positions in other locations, trying to preserve the massive workforce the clothing giant already has. Number 14. RealReal. RealReal might not be one of the biggest stores in the United States. As of 2022, the company had 16 stores across the United States, but they announced in February of 2023 that the company would close down 4 of these stores. As far as we know, these locations will be in San Francisco, Chicago, Atlanta, and Austin. The company also states that around 230 of its employees would be let go, which makes up around 7% of the total workforce of the company. Unfortunately, it might spell an end to the success of this second-hand designer retailer unless something drastically changes. Number 15. Victoria's Secret. Victoria's Secret is one of the most popular stores for women's underwear. However, the company has been facing plenty of criticism, with people across the US labeling them as fat-phobic. Whilst the company persisted, it seems like they have changed their tune and have been focusing on becoming a far more inclusive brand. However, this rebranding has significantly impacted sales of the brand, and since 2020, the company has already closed more than 400 stores nationwide. As of 2023, Victoria's Secret only has around 1,350 stores left worldwide, which has influenced the sales of the brand. It remains to be seen whether or not the company can actually rebound after such massive public backlash. Number 16. American Eagle Outfitters. American Eagle Outfitters has been a part of the United States for almost 5 decades. However, it seems the company is going on a spree of closing numerous stores. According to Jen Foyle, President and Executive Creative Director for American Eagle and Aerie, the comp company is selectively closing unproductive American Eagle stores in an attempt to expand the Aerie brand with 50 new stores. However, the 50 new stores are a far cry from the more than 250 stores that will be shut down by the time they are done. It seems like every week, new massive retail brands are closing their doors. With the rise of inflation and online shopping, do you think the days of in-store shopping are done? Make sure to let us know in the comments section and subscribe for more updates.